8 things to know about Copenhagen jazzing. Alright, so number 1, even if the forecast says sunny, be prepared for a slight chance of rain. Something about Copenhagen, you could just never be too prepared for when a random shower of rain just might pour upon you and ruin your entire outfit. Number 2, it's more diverse here than you think it is. Obviously, when you hear Denmark, if you know what Denmark is, then you think the icy blonde hair, you think 6'5" and blue eyes. But no, okay? That's not all that you get here. It may be the majority, but there's always a minority, okay? There is definitely instances where you'll see people like me walking around. Rarely. But yeah, you definitely see it, okay? It happens, alright? Don't be ignorant. Danish people are very open-minded and they don't seem so judgy, you know? If anything, they're always looking for a new perspective to understand. Number 4, the transportation is very reliable and subject to unexpected change. I do find it very reliable and trustworthy overall compared to like New York City's public transportation system. The many times that I have taken the metro, it's like always showed up in a fashionable time. The buses always show up, like, you know, in New York City it's like they show up eventually, and they'll have you waiting there for days, whereas the buses here, like, they definitely do run, like, even if it's like the middle of the night, they're coming. The one beautiful thing is the metro systems have Wi-Fi, so that's definitely helpful if you're a tourist like me and you have your phone on airplane mode and you're only functioning when you have Wi-Fi. Alright, I also said it's subject to random change. I only said that because one time I was shopping in a pretty well-known area, and I was waiting for the 1A bus, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting. So then eventually I ended up just taking the metro, but like that was a very like unexpected change because like all the other buses were coming, but for some reason not the 1A. This was also on like a random weekend, so maybe that's why. Alright, number 5. People don't really use mannerisms here, but it doesn't mean that they're rude, okay? I noticed when I first got here, on the first day, I noticed a lot of things when I first got here. There was a lady getting off the bus. She, I guess, was running to like cross the street or whatever, and like immediately when she got off the bus, she like just bumped into me, didn't say anything, kept going. And I was like, alright, I'm gonna let it slide. But like, I was just so confused. Like, she could have said excuse me, she could have said ni hao kai lan, like, she could have said in school, she could have said whatever she wanted to. She didn't say anything, so I just was like, what? But then I ended up like realizing that, you know, people don't really use like common mannerisms like they do in the States. But it's understandable because like a lot of places don't do that beyond the States. So, you know, the States is the only place that does a lot of things, but that's a conversation for another video. Besides that, also one thing else you should know about the transportation system is there's a certain part on buses and on trains that are usually reserved for people with carriages, expecting mothers, and elderly people. So if you ever come across those seats, it's very important that you do not sit in them, just for social reasons, and just try not to sit there. Stand anywhere else, just don't sit there, okay? You should know that if you're taking the metro, you often have your pass and you have to scan it when you're checking in, and then when you get to your destination, you check out. It's important that you do that because there is a fine if you do not. I didn't know that. Once again, I didn't know a lot of things when I got here. Okay, give me a break. All right. If you're from New York City, the prices in Copenhagen should be, if not identical, then a little cheaper. I'm from New York City, and I would say the prices in Manhattan would be like the prices that I would compare Copenhagen's prices to. Like, they're very similar. That's just about it. The babies here seem very chill and relaxed. It's just something about the babies. They just seem generally like to be in a good place. I randomly noticed that there are a lot of spiderwebs and cobwebs here. So I'm from the city, as I have pointed out numerous times, and I'm just terrified of bugs and all insects and critters that move without my consent. And I will give Copenhagen their props, okay? Like, there is no need to fear a rat or a roach or any kind of water bug when you are out here, because they just don't have those things out here. So that is beautiful. However, I did notice in a lot of like older metro stations, like there's a lot of like spider webs and like bugs if you look on the ceilings, which will like catch you off guard and scare you if you're not prepared. Like, when you watch this video, you are prepared now, but like if you didn't watch this video, you would be terrified. But I'm telling you now, so you're safe. Okay, you're safe. And last but not least, Danes are all about quality and quantity. It's a beautiful thing. I noticed that I went shopping here, like grocery shopping, on 2 occasions. The first time I spent $14. The second time I spent $25. The first time I only bought about 5 items. The second time I bought about 8 items. And I found that very impressive. It has nothing to do with currency, because there's 6 crowns to $1. But I think it just has more to do with like, here, like, even if something is on the cheaper end, it's not like it is in the States when something is cheaper, then the quality is probably poor. It's like here, when something is cheaper, everything here is like very much able to be trusted regardless of the price. And that's one thing I admire. And like, you get very good food as well. So those are 8 things that you should know if you're ever coming to Copenhagen, or or if you're ever thinking about coming to Copenhagen. I hope this video served you well. I am currently in Copenhagen. I've been here for 6 days. Tomorrow will be 7. And I will be leaving, and I will be so sad, but I am definitely coming back, and I will definitely be traveling more. And until then, Copenhagen, I'll see you soon.